Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. For fuck's sake. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Well, I was planning on doing this in one take, but I've fluffed that one already. So we'll see how we go from here. Oh, for fuck's sake, no. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I was planning on doing this in one take this morning, but I've fluffed that one already. This is take 4, I think. Oh, seriously? Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I was planning on doing this in one take this morning, but this is take 5, so I've kind of fluffed that one already. I'll start with the comments on last week's video. You guys have been busy this week. Rick, Glad, Echo and Jim, Scottish geek guy, have followed you on YouTube. My notes have just disappeared. Seriously? For fuck's sake, just bear with me. I'm not stopping it again. We'll just carry on. Where were we? Rick, Glad, Echo and Jim, that was a Scottish geek guy, have followed you on YouTube. Tone, I'll watch the rest later. I think you normally do it in 2 bits, especially with the long ones. Last week's wasn't bad at all. Rick, it was total shite. Oh, last week's wasn't. The week before was terrible. I thought it was absolutely awful. Last week's actually wasn't bad. I was hoping this week's was going to follow suit, but that's kind of gone south already. So thanks for that one, Rick. Scott, excellent video, Tony. Loved it, mate. Thank you for the kind words on my video. You're more than welcome, mate. Appreciate that. I'm looking forward to watching the West Side Story. Heard it's great. It's a brilliant movie. I think you've already seen the remake, haven't you? The original is absolutely brilliant. The music is superb. It's a long film, but absolutely worth your time. That video store set is awesome. You're telling me this is the Empire Blu-ray set with all the Charles Band Empire label movies. Oh God, I am not stopping it again. I'm just going to carry on. You know what I mean. And you also mentioned the Cold War Creatures box set, which I absolutely loved. I will be getting that at some point. I do love these old 50s sort of nuclear age monster movies. I do love those, so I will be getting a copy of that at some point. And you put about the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yeah, it's annoying what happened to that post on the Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's beyond annoying, mate. It just irritates the hell out of me. This is obviously, as I was told this week, some robot on the end that spotted something, and I'll give up with it. Let's see. Great film, though. Glad you enjoyed the review as well. I did. I love all your reviews, mate. Always worth listening to. Mike, the real Fifth Beatle. Think your nearest IMAX is in Nottingham. Oh, God. I mean, like I said last week, I can't really be bothered to go to the cinema in Burton, so I'm certainly not going to be travelling to somewhere like Nottingham, which I think is it's about 30 miles away. I used to go to Nottingham a lot years ago, but not anymore. But I would like to see an IMAX, so I guess I'm going to have to make the effort if I do actually want to see what IMAX is all about. But thanks for that one, Mike. Guy, here we go. Right then, where do I start? Great vid, mate, but for the love of all things holy, stop with the parental lists. Do not let IMDb decide what you'll watch. It's not a matter of IMDb deciding what I'll watch. The only time I consult the parental guide, or the parents guide as they call it, is when I want to watch something, but it's got a reputation and I want to know why it's got a reputation. I don't know what it is. I've only started doing this recently. I only found it recently. But like things, movies like Nobody, I would rather know roughly what I'm going to be letting myself in for when I watch it, before I actually watch it. And if I see something, like in the case of a movie that Scott recommended, The Untold Story, I could barely read some of the things that were going off in that, and I certainly wouldn't repeat them on here. It's pretty depraved stuff from what I've read, so I fairly much know that I will not be watching that, even though I was very, very curious about it when I first heard about it. As soon as I read that, I thought, no, I'm not going to get through that. And that's pretty much all it is. It just gives me the heads up whether I'm actually going to be able to get through it or not. It's not a matter of them deciding what I'm going to watch. Occasionally I do see one and I think, do you know what, I'm going to give it a go because, you know, I know it's supposed to be good, this, that and the other. But yeah, I wouldn't say it decides what I watch, but it does sort of, as I say, give me the heads up on whether I think I'm going to whether I'm going to like it or not. Let's see. Nobody, you talked about Nobody, which is what started this off. It is violent, yes, but it also has a great story about a family man's descent into the rut of routine and malaise of his everyday life. I'm pleased that I got you to purchase it. I think it should be your next reaction video. Ooh, don't know about that. Maybe. I'm off work in about 3-4 weeks, so I'll have the place to myself. So yeah, I may just do that. Actually, I'm probably overdue to do one of those, and you know, all you'll see is me flinching a lot and doing the sort of stuff that I was doing when I did the Freddy Got Fingered reaction video. But yeah, I'll give that some thought. I may be doing that at some point. High time we had another of those from yourself. More Doctor Who as well, please. Doctor Who is sort of on its way. I'm on the 10th planet at the moment, which I believe is the last Hartnell adventure. I watched the first episode a couple of weeks back, so I need to finish that one off and obviously do a review of that one. So it will be, Doctor Who will be forthcoming very shortly, mate. And finally, okay, folks, on a serious note for once, and this is you again, Guy. Serious note, really? Check out this vid and then vote for Tony in the comments section. Let's get him to YouTube Entertainer of the Month. This is obviously Rick's video where he won YouTube Entertainer of the Month, and he's nominated me as one of his choices for YouTube Entertainer of the Month for, is it July or August? So thanks for that, Guy. I did actually say cheers, and you put no, thanks for entertaining us. I've never really thought of myself, in all honesty, as an entertainer of any kind. All I am is an average Joe Soap who created a small website, created a little group to run alongside it, which you guys pretty much run it for me. And you do. I think it's brilliant. And also, obviously, I got talked into doing a YouTube channel, which started off with sort of 2-3 minute quick videos and accelerated into what you watch, into what you're watching now. So as for an entertainer, I'm really, really flattered, Guy, but I've never thought of myself as an entertainer. I basically just sit here with a cuppa, just basically chatting about what's been going on within the group during the week. And as I've said before, it's not really of any interest to anybody that's not a member of the group, or I wouldn't have thought it was. But I'm really flattered, mate, and I do appreciate that. And some of the nominations I've had, and I thank everybody that's been over to YouTube and actually voted for me. I'll just read some of these out. Chris, I'll nominate the Retro Movie Zone. Definitely deserves more exposure. Can't beat a bit of Tony time on a Sunday morning. Cheers, Chris. Guy, I vote for Tony at Retro Movie Zone. Cheers, Guy. RJC, Tony gets my vote. I'm not familiar with RJC. Are you one of my subscribers that sort of, I can't see, if that makes any sense? A lot of the subscribers you can't actually see when you look at the analytics and stuff like that. But thanks for that, RJC. Mike, the Real Fifth Beatle, I vote for Tony. Dave Oliver, Savage Zombie Reviews, all awesome channels, but my vote is for Tony. Cheers, Dave. That means a lot coming from you. Jason Kerr, our Ginger Ninja, my vote, and this was a tough choice, but I've got to go with Tony at the Retro Movie Zone. Cheers, Jace. Really, really appreciate that. And finally, Scott. Lots of great channels here, but I'm going to vote for Tony. The Retro Movie Zone, just because I've seen the most content from him, and he's a great guy, and I always enjoy his videos. Cheers, Carl. Scott, back at you, mate. So yeah, thanks to everybody that's voted for me on this. As I've said before, I'm not really fussed whether I win or not. I think it's just a huge compliment to be nominated for this in the first place. So thanks to everybody that's been over to YouTube and basically nominated me for YouTube Entertainer of the Month. We'll see what happens at the end of the month. There's a lot of cracking channels there, really good ones. So I'm up against some very tough competition, but as I say, it doesn't really matter to me either way. It's just really sort of the ultimate compliment that you've all actually gone for me, so appreciate that, guys. Mark, we were talking about TCM closing its doors last week. TCM, that brings back memories. I didn't know it was called Turner Classic Movies. In fact, my memories are of my dad coming home from work and sitting on the sofa, putting the TCM channel on, and usually about 10 minutes later he'd be snoring his head off, which made me always refer to it as totally crappy movies. Totally crappy movies. I think it's a real shame that one's gone. They did some absolute classics. I remember mostly sort of tuning in around about 9 o'clock some nights, and you would usually get something like Dirty Harry or Dog Day Afternoon. I think they had Turner Classic Movies was mostly Warner Brothers films, so it was mostly movies like that. But I used to love TCM, and I'm kind of hoping that, you know, a similar channel starts up. The nearest we've got to it now, I think, is Talking Pictures TV, which I absolutely adore. So that's probably the nearest that we've got to it at the moment. So thanks for that, Mark. Jason P, our esteemed Jason. My God, I've got quite a bit to get through here, so let me just scroll up a bit. You started off with, here we go then, right. I've took notes this week because I always forget what to what to reply to. As you can see, I've changed your mug to a sippy cup, as you need to check the parental guidance before you watch something. I've also given you a couple of new posters. Yes, I did notice. This little mug that I hold has been changed into a sippy cup on one of the meme picture things. Do you know what? I'm actually half tempted to find somebody that customises sippy cups and have one made just for the hell of it. We shall see. And the two new posters you gave me, one was of the Gallagher brothers, which I absolutely I can't stand them. Take away Wonderwall, and what you've got is a couple of brats who write sort of average music. I can't stand them. As people, I absolutely loathe them. So that one got me. And what was the other one you did? I can't remember. Was it Cliff Richard? I made mention of Summer Holiday last week, and I said that if I was given the choice of watching either Nobody or Cliff Richard in Summer Holiday, I would probably pick Cliff Richard in Summer Holidays. I'm fairly sure I got Cliff Richard in the background where Al is Tony Montana. Let's see, standing ovation in a cinema. I made mention of this last week when we were talking about IMAXs. Seen it once in Burton Odeon. It was for Silence of the Lambs. I was about 19 at the time and wondered what the chuff they were up to. This is quite a commonplace thing in America. I didn't know it happened over here, but apparently it does. Nobody doesn't have any bone crunching scenes in it. Really, Jason? Really? I think you'll watch it and wonder what you're whittling about. I don't know. Let's see, shall we? I think I will do that reaction video just for the hell of it. I'll hold off for 2-3 weeks. I think it's about 4 weeks till I'm off work, and I will do the reaction video, and I'll reply to that when I've actually done it. You can see my point, can't you, with this IMDb thing? That, as I say, Nobody is the one that pretty much started it, but you put here the Saw movies. I think you would not be able to watch. You've seen the first one, which is tame compared to the others. The rest of them even made me wince at a few things. In fact, they are fucking horrible, and I wonder what goes on in the mind of the people that wrote it. And then you completely contradict yourself by saying, I'm looking forward to a Saw binge watch in October, ready for the new one. Why? This is my point. Why would you want to put yourself through something that you know is absolutely, as you describe it, fucking horrible? This is my thing. I've got so many movies to catch up with. Why do I want to put myself through something that I'm just going to be completely uncomfortable watching? I don't know. Yeah, jury's out on it. The Fall Guy is indeed based on the TV series that we loved from the 80s. I only saw 2 or 3 episodes, Lee Majors, but I did enjoy it. It's a series that I wouldn't mind having a look at some point. Skyscraper, oh God, here we go. Skyscraper is absolute dog shit. Climbing the windows of a skyscraper by putting double-sided tape on his shoes, for flip's sake. Awful. Watched it once and will never watch it again. This is why you only paid £2 for it. Remains to be seen. I don't know. I was completely swayed by the cover art, to be honest. It looks amazing. I've not seen the trailer to it. I know nothing about it. I think it was just one of those impulse buys. I was looking for something that I thought might make 4K look amazing on my new setup. I'm constantly looking for that. And it looked, like glossy action entertainment that I might like, but who knows, I may watch it and come away from it and think, oh God, Jason was right, that really was bad. But we'll see. All in all, a great vid. Once again, as you know, I can quite happily sit through an hour of Sunday service, and you put at the end, let's post like fuck this week, so Tony has to do a 3-hour video. He'll need a spare sippy cup. A 3-hour video, my God. That would be a challenge and a half. It's not something that's going to happen, I guarantee you, unless I do 6 sort of half-hour videos over the space of like 6 months and string them all together. That's the only way I think you're ever going to get a 3-hour one. That would be a major challenge even for me. I'm not sure I could wobble on for that long, but you never know, I suppose. And you posed a quick question for those that are playing along, and this is with the my favourite movies thread. Do you roughly know what 2 or 3 movies you are definitely choosing when the actor is announced on a Monday morning, then rely on IMDb to choose the others? For this week, there was no clear movies for me. I suppose for many it will be Get Carter or The Italian Job. It's obviously Michael Caine this week, but I didn't like any of those, so relied on IMDb for all 5 days. Didn't you like them? Get Carter and seriously? Wow. I did choose about 9, but narrowed it down to my top 5 Kane movies. I've just downloaded the posters for next week and the week after. Sorry folks, it doesn't get any easier. I'm really enjoying it. I did get a yellow card, I think it was Friday, because I posted a double bill. I literally couldn't decide whether to go with Hannah and Her Sisters or, what was the other one? Death Trap, which was a marvellous movie he did with Diane Cannon and the wonderful Christopher Reeve. If you've not seen it, I would highly recommend it. The acting is absolutely superb. The most of it takes place in one room. It's a very talky film, but it is so well done. So I'd recommend that one. That's from 1982. But I couldn't decide between the two, so I thought I'd go for a double bill and got yellow carded for it, so thanks for that, Chase. Just going to scroll up a bit, just bear with me. It's a bit slow this morning, this. Oh, you've got your tickets booked for the new indie movie on Monday. £7 for the both of us at Tamworth Odeon Lux. Really looking forward to hearing your thoughts on that one, mate. I really, really hope that you do enjoy it. I think a little video from you would be brilliant on that one, just 30 seconds. Just telling us what you thought of it. I would love to see that. But I am hoping and praying that you do enjoy it. My prediction is... Oh God, this is a tough one. I think you'll think it's just all right. I think you'll think it's okay, but nothing special. I'm only guessing. But I think that's what you're going to say, but we'll see. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Posters for next week. I forgot to post this the other night after you mentioned it. I'll definitely be purchasing Vicar on Blu-ray, but I'll wait 12 months for the price to come down. Although it's a good price now, I'll be kicking myself when it drops to a tenner. And you put a picture of the McVicar soundtrack. I thought I had it on cassette. I'll show a couple of bits off later on that you might enjoy, actually, to do with that. But the McVicar soundtrack is absolutely superb. I used to play it all the time. It was brilliant. It was partly what made the film for me. I'll come back to that a little bit later. Chris, Not everyone's cup of tea, Jason, but I've been waiting for this upgrade for years. Movie nights are sorted this week, but we're talking about Avatar. Right, Mark said, I've not seen the first one, so I can't comment on either of them. Jason, please watch it. I need backup from someone to say it's utter shite. Do you know what, Jason? I think you should do a regular video, maybe Saturday or Sunday, and just call it something like shite or not shite. You know, a little 30-second review. It doesn't even have to be that long, 20-second, where you just come on and say, watch this, shite. Watch this, not shite, really good. Do you know what? I would love that. Please, please do it, dude. Just once for me. So let's see, Guy. You said I've not seen either of them. The first one didn't appeal to me, so I never bothered. That was pretty much my thought when I first heard about it. I've changed my mind a little bit since. Guy, oh no, Jason. Jace 3, Chris 1. You can have Tony's vote, Chris, as he'll watch any shite. Once he's checked the parental guidance, of course. This is going to die a hard death, and I can see it. Guy, I have a feeling that Tony is going to be getting grief over the parental guidance thing for a good while. And Jason says he can take it. He always drops himself in it, and we latch onto it like hawks, don't you just? Guy said, which he absolutely loves. Which he has no fucking choice in, more like. Oh God! No, you keep going, guys. I can take it. I can take it. Take anything you lot throw at me. Another little one from Chris. Today was a good day. You actually got your Superman 2, 3, and 4 on 4K delivered on this particular day. So yes, that would have been a good day. Can't wait to hear what you think of them and what the transfer is like. I mean, obviously the films are getting on for 50 years old. How much better can they look than they do on Blu-ray? You can probably answer this for me when you've actually watched them. I haven't bought any of them, but if you basically come on and say that the transfer is stunning and it's a major improvement on Blu-ray, I may just go for them, because I do love, especially Superman 1 and 2. Superman 3 was not bad. Superman 4 I've seen once. I don't remember thinking very much of it, but let's see. Let me know on that one. Yeah, loving my favourite movies thread, Jace. Absolutely loving it. I'm looking forward to it. Who is it next week? Drop us a little message, just a secret little message. Just let me know who it is next week so I can get some posters downloaded. It just gives me a bit of an head start, but I'm loving the thread, mate. Really am loving it and enjoying taking part in this one. Let's see. Steve Mack, loved the latest Let's Talk Criterion video. Breathless is one of my favourite of the French New Wave movies. I was going to show off the Breathless box set, but I've forgotten to bring it downstairs. So rather than cut this off, what I'll do is I'll make a note at the end of this one to do it next week. I think I've shown it off before. It's the one that includes the vinyl soundtrack. And all the various other bits and pieces, posters and art cards and stuff like that. It's a beautiful, beautiful set. As for investing on it in 4K, I honestly don't know. I'm sure the transfer is absolutely brilliant, but I'm perfectly happy with the transfer on Blu-ray with this one, so I will probably hold off on that one. And I believe it's a Region 1 release anyway, isn't it? Oh, hang on, no, 4K is... yeah, it's Region 3, isn't it? It's just the Blu-ray disc that is going to be with the extras on it. I believe that's going to be sort of Region lot, but I'll drag that down next week and I'll show you that one just in case you missed it. Jason Kerr, this is an interesting one. Ginger Ninja. Completely random breakfast conversation this morning, which started about the Wrong Turn movies. That's normal breakfast conversation, right? Of course it is, Sir Joe. Of course it is. About how long is it an appropriate time between an original and a remake, which led me down a rabbit hole of originals versus remakes. I was surprised at some of the movies on this that are remakes, and also how some remakes are made. You left a link to an IMDb list. I looked at that IMDb list, and there are 959 of them. I went through the first page. and I pretty much thought that was it. And then I got to the bottom, and it was like one of 50 of 959. I thought, bloody hell! So I'll have to come back on that one. I did notice on that first page that a lot of them are remakes of Japanese movies. I was surprised at how many actually were. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I didn't realise that was a remake of a Japanese movie. Obviously, The Magnificent Seven, which everybody pretty much knows, is a remake of Seven Samurai, classic Japanese movie. Um, as far as remakes go, I mean, there were a lot of Disney remakes on there. Not really up for these live action. Just consulting my notes here, just in case you wonder why I keep glancing away. Not really up for these Disney live action remakes of animated movies. I mean, The Lion King I've seen a long, long time ago. I've not seen the remake. Little Mermaid has just been released. It's doing really, really well. And Snow White is on the way. Um, I don't really know. I'm a bit of a traditionalist with this. I do love the old original animated versions of these things. We'll see how we go with that. But I'm not really up for those live action remakes. Some of them are spaced well out. You've got Scarface, which was originally made in 1932 and then obviously made in 1983 with Al Pacino, and they are very, very different animals. But I get the feeling that the original Scarface would have had problems with censors and stuff like that, exactly as the remake did. Um, but I've seen both versions. Both versions absolutely brilliant. Psycho, the classic one again, made in 1960. You had Psycho 2 in 1982, which was voted by a lot of people as the best horror sequel ever. And I can see why. It's a cracking sequel. And then they went and did it again in 1998 when they remade the original Psycho um, with Anne Heche and Vince Vaughn. It was Vince Vaughn's performance as Norman Bates that made it for me. I thought it was absolutely superb in that one. So yeah, I did enjoy that one. You got Dune in 1984 and also remade in 2021. Um, the David Lynch version from 1984, I did see it a long time ago. It just confused the hell out of me. I didn't get it at all. I've not seen the remake yet, but I will be taking a look at it because I've heard good things about it. Stephen King's It, uh, originally made in 1990 as a two-part, 3-hour mini-series, and also remade, I think it was 2017. Um, I've not seen the remake. I have seen the original. Um, it, it was really, really loved an awful lot by an awful lot of people from that generation. The same as Salem's Lot. And we're still waiting for that one, by the way. That was supposed to be out earlier this year, and it's not appeared yet. I'm wondering what's happened with that. Um, have they fucked up on it on some way? I don't know, but I've heard nothing. It's gone very, very quiet on the Salem's Lot front. Um, but again, with those, you would not think that you could remake them successfully, but apparently the remake of it is absolutely superb. We'll wait and see what's happening with Salem's Lot. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, 1971. One of those movies where you think, please don't touch it. Gene Wilder was absolutely perfect, but they did it in 2005 with Johnny Depp, which I've heard is very good. I've seen bits of it, and his performance is typically Johnny Depp. But they've now remade it with Timothy Chalamet, and it's just called Wonka, and it's a kind of an origin story. You've also got Hugh Grant as an Oompa Loompa. The trailer dropped this week, and to be fair, it doesn't look bad at all. But again, we'll see. But Hugh Grant as an Oompa Loompa, how can you not? You know what I mean? The Italian Job, another untouchable movie, which they remade in 2003 with Mark Wahlberg. I watched it begrudgingly because somebody said it's absolutely brilliant, but this was somebody that had not seen the original, the Michael Caine movie. So I watched it, and to be fair, it wasn't bad. It was not a patch on the original, even though the story was pretty much the same, but it was not as dire as I thought it was going to be, so I was quite pleased about that. Clash of the Titans, Jason, you'll bear me out on this one. You will never ever beat the absolute, complete and utter charm of the original movie from 1981. Those Ray Harryhausen stop motion creatures, monsters were just the best, and they were. I've not watched the 2010 remake and the sequel to that. There was Clash of the Titans and I believe Wrath of the Titans. Um, I think you were in two camps on that one. I think part of you said it was okay, and part of you thought no, please don't do it. I thought the original Clash of the Titans was brilliant. I still do. So, as for the remakes, I will take a look, but I know what I'm going to say on this one. I'm going to come down firmly on the side of, yeah, prefer the original on that one. So, by the way, Jace, looking forward to your review of Titanic 666, which you, I think, were watching last week. So, really looking forward to hearing what you think of that one after what was said last week. Right, I'm going to take a quick break just to transfer this onto another drive, and then I'll come back with a few more minutes. I've still got a few more bits to get through, so it could. I don't think it'll go to an hour, but it might be close to it. So I'll just take a break for a couple of minutes. Back in a sec. And we're back. Right, where were we? I may be coming back to a few of the things that I've talked about this morning. I've kind of left a couple of bits open-ended, so I'm going to keep my notes and carry a few things over to next week's video. I put a post on sometime last week about a movie called Threads. I'd be very curious to know how many of you actually remember this. I got a couple of comments on the post. I remember it very, very well. I was actually working near Sheffield at the time, and obviously, if you've ever seen Threads, it concerns a nuclear strike on Great Britain, which hits Sheffield and pretty much completely decimates it, and it's mostly concerned with the after effects of a nuclear strike, and it was possibly one of the most horrifying pieces of television I think I'd ever watched. At the time, it was just so real. I had a couple of comments. Caroline, Threads, remember it so well. It's one of those movies that you see and it stays with you for a long, long time. It was pretty bad. Steve Mack, this was horrific, and there were lots of calls to the BBC. It felt so real. I'm not surprised. It was the documentary style that it was done in, but it was so well done. I haven't seen this for many, many years. I'm due to rewatch it again, but you've got to be in the right frame of mind for a movie like that. It's horrific stuff, even by today's standards, and it's probably 40 years old now, getting on for. But yeah, if you've not seen Threads, take a look at it and let me know what you think. I'd be very curious to see, the opinion of a younger person that wasn't around at the time that the thing came out, or doesn't remember it, we're too young to watch it or something like that. But let me know what you think on that one. I had a massive message from a very old friend of mine, Dave Taylor, one of my old cohorts from the warehouse. He retired a short while ago. We were having a conversation last week about movie lengths on the video, and he jumped on that one. Now, he sent me a massive message over Messenger, which I'm going to be addressing next week, Dave. I'm pretty much running out of time today. I've got a couple of bits to sort of sort out after I've done this, so I will be coming back on that, and I've taken action on one of the things that you mentioned, which I will be showing you a little bit later on, but I'm coming on to that one next week, mate, for sure. Couple of bits of news for you. 88 Films have announced that they are releasing Witchfinder General, possibly my favourite ever Vincent Price movie. Absolutely loved it, still love it now. Violent as hell, caused major problems with the censors in 1969 when it came out. It's getting a remaster from 4K Masters or something like that. I do apologise, I'm all over the place this morning. I'm stammering a lot and I don't know why, so please forgive me. But yes, that's being released very, very shortly with a wealth of new extras. I believe they're putting 3 versions of the movie on this 4K release, including the European cut with all of the censored footage reinserted back in. Hopefully uh, hopefully they're going to be the same quality as the actual movie. So we'll see how we go with that one. Um, right, I think that's all for sort of what's been happening on the group this week. There's a couple of other bits, but I'm going to carry them over to next week. What I will show you now, Jason, we were talking about this last week. Bear with me. You were on about the McVicker soundtrack. You got it on CD. Check that baby out. McVicker soundtrack on cassette. Remember cassettes? I'm guessing, Jason, that you've got quite a few cassettes in your collection, but I bet you've not got many soundtracks. That's one, and I found all these other ones when I was searching through some old storage boxes the other day. The soundtrack to Radio Days, the Woody Allen movie, which again I played over and over. Love those old 40s tracks. Orson Welles' War of the Worlds. I believe this is the original broadcast version of the radio play that basically sent America into panic. This is how naive they were back then. But that one. Here's another one that I used to play a lot, Television Greatest Hits. This is a compilation of loads and loads of TV themes. The soundtrack to With Nail and I think I got this. This was a free gift, and I'm fairly sure it was attached to the front of a copy of Empire. I don't think it says anything about that on here. Just having a quick look now. No, it doesn't, but I am fairly certain, having not seen the film, that I would not have bought that, so that almost certainly came as a free gift. Soundtrack to Good Morning Vietnam. These are lovely, these things. Remember this one? Secret Policeman's Ball. This was a concert stage in London a long time ago, late 70s, and it featured a lot of comedy legends of the time. John Cleese, Peter Cook, Billy Connolly, Michael Palin, Terry Jones, Rowan Atkinson. This was funny as hell. There's actually a DVD of this concert out somewhere. I think it's been deleted now. I'm hoping that gets a Blu-ray release at some point soon. In the Mood, the soundtrack to a movie called The Woo Woo Kid. And I believe this is all Glenn Miller type tracks. Let me just have a quick look. Oh, I can't see the track listing. Classic. This one's not even out of the cellophane. Now, this was definitely free with Empire, because it says on the front, Popcorn, movie music, and you've got soundtracks from, let's see, Mission Impossible, Four Weddings, all sorts on here. Muriel's Wedding, loads on there. Loved this movie when it came out. Amadeus, very me. The story of Mozart and his rivalry with another composer called Salieri. Let's see, what's this one? The Hollywood Collection. This is all old Hollywood musicals. Judy Garland and Fred Astaire, all that kind of thing. Gene Kelly, classic stuff. The soundtrack to Great Balls of Fire, which I thoroughly enjoyed. The Dennis Quaid movie, which is the biography of Jerry Lee Lewis. Let's see. I don't know why I put that one there. Village People's Greatest Hits. That's probably one of my guilty pleasures, actually. And that one, and I don't even know why this one made it in. Music for Witches, Fairies and what? Music, Fairies and Magic. But that's a little collection of cassettes that I dug out this week. Let's see now. Shows that I grew up with. 1970. Again, going back to school summer holidays. Does anybody remember these? The double deckers. This was basically a series about a group of kids who their play area was an old junkyard, and their sort of base was a double decker bus. The theme tune to this is absolutely cracking. The series was brilliant. Again, it was on every summer holiday. I loved that. That's the show I grew up with for this week. 3 movies that I'm going to bin. Let's see. This thinning out of the collection is going really, really well. First one is the Bellstone Fox. I've actually got this on Blu-ray, didn't realise it until I was looking for something else the other night and thought, I've just seen that on DVD. So that one's going. Bill Pertwee's The Warden Says. Now, Bill Pertwee was obviously the warden in Dad's army. And what this is a series of public information films from World War II. Make, do and mend, that kind of thing. And it's basically linked together by a commentary from Bill Pertwee. My dad used to love this, but I've got most of these on an actual DVD of public information films from the war, so I thought I'd let that one go. And finally, Last Tango in Paris. I've heard on the grapevine that this is getting a 4K release. Now, if this gets a 4K release, I will definitely be invested in it, so there doesn't seem much point in holding on to this. Plus, it is out on Blu-ray, so at some point I will be getting it on either Blu-ray or 4K if that's first. And the next thing, I'll come back to that one actually. Let's see, I've got some bits and pieces that I've bought here. I'll start with the magazines. If I've shown you these before, I do apologise, I can't remember what I did last week. That's the new issue of Empire, which I'm halfway through, enjoying that, and also the next issue of SFX, which has got all sorts of bits in there to do with Star Wars, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, never really got that one. The Haunted Mansion, In the Flesh, resurrecting a zombie classic, and an article on Gremlins. You've also got Red Sonja, Star Trek, What We Do in the Shadows, Conan, and loads more. So yeah, looking forward to having a read of that one. And also, let's see now, a couple of ones discs that I bought. Kentucky Fried Movie, it finally arrived. This is a German import. Now, if you've not seen this or even heard of it, it's from 1977. It's directed by John Landis, who made American Werewolf in London, various other movies. This is a film, basically it's a lot of sort of American sketches, risque sketches, very dodgy sketches sort of. This is absolutely brilliant. I need to watch this again, basically to see whether it's as politically incorrect as I remember it being. And if you've seen the sketch of Rex Kramer, Danger Seeker, you'll know exactly what I mean. Now this one, Dave Taylor taught me into getting this one. Well, never taught me into it, but he mentioned it. Now I've got very, very curious, so I've invested in a copy on Blu-ray. Child 44. I know very, very little about it, but it came into the conversation we were having about movie lengths, so I'll be coming back onto that one probably next week. And also, Avatar. $7.99 on Amazon for the 3-hour extended version. Now, I haven't seen this, so I have no idea what it's like. I know it's one of Chris's favourites. Jason just doesn't like it at all. Guy hasn't seen it. I basically want to know what all the fuss is about with this one, because I've never seen it. I've seen bits of it, sort of, you know, a couple of minutes here and there, but I've not seen anything close to the whole thing. So I thought I might as well go for the whole 3-hour and see how we go with that. Right, I'm going to wrap this up for this week. There's a few bits that I wanted to get on with, but it's not gone particularly well today. I don't think it does. So I'm going to wrap it up for now, and I'll hopefully be back next week with a longer video, and we'll see how we go with that. Thanks ever so much for joining me, and again, thanks to everybody who's nominated me for YouTube Entertainer of the Month. Judging on today's performance, I definitely don't deserve it. But we'll see. Thanks again for joining me. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe and all that sort of thing. And I will be back again with you hopefully next week. Take care, folks, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Ta-da.